Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, correctional officer allegedly caught with illegal gun and ammunition granted bail. A correctional officer was reportedly held with an illegal weapon during a traffic stop in Kingston in February, was on Thursday offered $1.5 million bail. The 35-year-old defendant, Richard Newton, was offered bail in the gun court by Justice Lisa Palmer Hamilton following an application by his attorney, DeAndre Buchanan. Newton is charged with the possession of prohibited weapon and the possession of unauthorized ammunition. The condition of his bail included reporting to the police station and surrendering his travel documents with a stop order in place. He was also given a curfew order. The allegations are that around 2:30 a.m. on February 23, a police team was on patrol when they stopped a motor vehicle in which Newton and the two other men were traveling. Newton exited the vehicle and was reportedly observed with a Glock 19 bulging at his waist. The weapon had a magazine with 9 9mm rounds. He was subsequently arrested and charged. Attorney at law John Jacobs also represented Newton. Robert Chin spared prison time for cocaine charges. 55-year-old Robert Chin, who was caught attempting to smuggle 26.5 pounds of cocaine to the United States in his luggage, was spared prison time after he was fined $813,000 in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court. Chin, who is of a Mona St. Andrew address, was ordered to pay $800,000 or spend 2 years in prison for possession of cocaine and $13,000 or 30 days for attempting to export cocaine when he appeared for sentencing on Thursday before Senior Parish Judge Paula Blake Powell. He was admonished and discharged on the charges of dealing in cocaine and a conspiracy to export cocaine. Chin, who is the brother of Member of Parliament Michael Phillips, was nabbed at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston in January 2023. King's Counsel Peter Champagny had asked the court to impose a non-custodial sentence as his client is undergoing dialysis treatment for renal failure and he presented medical documents. Champagny also asked the court to bear in mind that Chin had pleaded guilty, had a good social inquiry report, and had traveled overseas while on bail and had returned. Chin was attempting to board a flight to the United States of America about 7 a.m. on January 2, 2023, when a search of his luggage was conducted and the illicit drug, with an estimated street value of US $600,000, was allegedly found. Chin was later arrested and charged. Attorney at law Patrice Riley also represented Chin. Portmore Mayor Leon Thomas not charged. Attorney says he's not under investigation. Mayor of Portmore Leon Thomas has not been charged with any crime after an interview with the police on Thursday, his attorney has disclosed. The interview was requested by the police to get Thomas's account of what transpired during a brawl between supporters of the two main political parties that brought an abrupt end to a town hall meeting at the headquarters of the Portmore municipality on February 15. The meeting was a consultation with residents to discuss the move to make Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish. No question was put to Mayor Thomas about any assault. It did not arise. He was merely asked to state his account, said the senior defense attorney Anthony Williams, who was present during the interview. The mayor's account, according to his attorney, was that placard-carrying Jamaica Labour Party supporters entered a smooth, progressive meeting, shouting "shower, shower, shower" and other things. Shower is a slogan used by the JLP. Williams said members of the police high command were present at the meeting. We understand that there was some allegations of assault. We wish to say that Mayor Thomas knows nothing about any such assault, nor did he breach any aspect of Jamaica's criminal laws, the attorney said. He said there is no indication what will happen next because I don't know that he is under any investigation. Videos from the meeting, which have been circulating on social media, appear to show the Portmore mayor grabbing a yellow placard from a woman. They also show People's National Party supporters heckling Alonda Terrelong, Jamaica's junior foreign minister and the JLP member of parliament for St. Catherine East Central, as he attempted to answer a question posed by a resident during the meeting. "Shame on you," a group of PNP supporters shouted at Terrelong. Another video shows Terrelong being held back while shouting, "Take his phone, take his phone." It is not clear to whom he was referring. Simeon Ramsey receives 2 7-year sentences for killing his parents. Simeon Ramsey, the teacher who pleaded guilty to manslaughter arising from the killing of his parents in Portmore, St. Catherine 3 years ago, has been sentenced to 7 years imprisonment on each count. His parents, 69-year-old Cecil Ramsey, a minister of religion, and the 55-year-old Phyllis Ramsey, former vice principal of St. Andrew Preparatory School, were killed on February 4, 2022. Ramsey visited the home of his parents in Christian Meadows, Portmore, St. Catherine, where he used a knife to stab them both to death. He then drove away in his mother's Toyota Axia motor car, which he crashed in Dunbehold in St. Catherine. He was held and subsequently charged with murder. Ramsey reportedly suffers from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. His attorney, Tom Tavares Finson, told the court that the social inquiry, the antecedent and the community reports all show that Ramsey acted out of character. Justice Bertram Morrison said he agreed that, due to his mental state at the time, which was reflected in the psychiatric report, plus the 3 years spent in jail, it was reasonable to impose the 7-year sentences. The judge also warned that Ramsey must take his medication during his incarceration. Ramsey pleaded not guilty to murder and guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter on November 6, 2023. Tariff fallout. Manufacturer wants Jamaica to seek non-US markets. Richard Pandoi, CEO of the separate group, believes Jamaica manufacturers will be forced to seek new markets in response to the tariffs imposed by United States President Donald Trump. Jamaica is among many countries, including those in CARICOM, that have been hit with a 10% tariff on exports to the U.S. There are concerns that Jamaican exports could become too expensive for its customers in the United States. Pandoi, in an interview on Thursday, called for manufacturers to urgently seek a meeting with the government to plan their response strategies to mitigate the export risk and perhaps even find avenues for us to thrive in the changing global trade landscape. Conceding that the 10% tariff is expected to increase the cost of our exported goods to the United States market, he noted that it's the same situation and even worse for other countries. It's not all risk, there are also opportunities, he said.
The 10% tariff is expected to increase the cost of our exported goods to the United States market. But based on the announcement by President Trump, it's the same situation and even worse for other countries. So we could potentially face reduced export volumes in the manufacturing and agricultural pillars if we do nothing. My expectation is that the companies, hopefully in collaboration with the government of Jamaica, will work together to come up with strategies to mitigate the export risk and perhaps even find avenues for us to thrive in the changing global trade landscape. It's not all risk, it's also opportunities, yes? The USA will always be a critical market for our goods, and we'll have to redouble our efforts to drive productivity improvement to offset the price impact of the tariffs so that consumers in that market can afford to buy our goods. We'll have to seek new markets to mitigate the potential effects of the tariffs also.
The Jamaican government, in its first response to the announcement by Donald Trump, has appealed for patience as it seeks clarity on the new tariff regime. In a post on X on Thursday, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, said the government was obtaining the requisite technical documentation to ensure accuracy of details and appropriate analysis.
Please be assured that we very much appreciate the public's need for further information and clarity. There are several documents in circulation, and we want to be clear. So we will update the business community and the wider public accordingly.
The new tariffs, as announced by Trump, will go into effect on Saturday. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.